looks dreadful. But my DR has been rocketing this week in this combination. Spielberg, Wet, Race B, Subaru, the 4 Points livery. Great website if you want to know the basics of Christianity or ask questions about it. So hopefully my progress will continue, and I'll just check my sound after I get round the first corner. Don't really want to start completely without a practice, but then I don't want to be attempting to stream without being heard. Well, I can hear that fairly well. I'm not sure about the engine noise, we'll see. That's quite an important corner if you're going to do well. You certainly can't do what I just did there. I've got 2 laps to warm up. That's too quick. And that's too quick. Just holds on. Also too quick. Gradual throttle input is important on that corner. Not yet lapping at reasonable pace. That doesn't help. That was too slow. Well, I've had some sort of practice. I think it would have been disastrous had I gone in. That lap was shaping up to be quite quick. Quietly, fairly tightly packed grid there. I've been on track. These people have been doing this race all week. Jolly Roger, Goosey Feet, Bestie, who quite rough. The Swiss fella overtook me at the penultimate corner with the classic hit the bumper and then drive down your inside. I asked him at the end with questionable overtake, and he was like, sorry, I'll do better next time. Next race. He didn't do it to me, but he did it to somebody else exactly the same. So I better get ready for that move. I think I'll struggle a bit here because I'm not quite in the rhythm, but we'll see. The hunt for DA plus DR has reached 32,500, so the DR has gone up by 8,000 this week. My theory for that is that you can't be too rough in this race. If you chuck it in and barge someone out the way, you're fairly likely to go off yourself. So the kind of rough overtakes that you see a lot of are a lot less rough and leave you actually on track. You can still power backwards, but it's a little bit more gentlemanly. If you can get away a bit, that helps. That was not a great exit, as being demonstrated by this chap catching a whole 10th. That's a shame. That could be a half-second penalty. It isn't. Oh, it is. There you go. I might have got away enough to get away with the half-second. Because they're battling behind me, that's why. So if they keep battling and I put a couple of reasonable laps together, done it again. Oh, I can't believe that. Well, it's because I'm not quite in the rhythm of things yet. didn't get a pen, that was good. But I need to do better on corner 1. And last corner, and all the other corners. Though someone's roughed up Sushi again. Look at that, 1029 and leading, dreadful. At last, I've done that correctly. That's as well as I've done that. This could be a half decent lap. This is a low 2 or a high 1. Oh, that is a good lap. This lap, if anything, feels a bit better. The last corner, not quite as... maybe it was. See, 2 decent laps. And suddenly we're flying because everyone is arguing behind. And I was only getting away with leading because everyone was arguing behind. That's not a great corner. So this may not be great viewing for you guys. It's good for my DR. And yeah, it'd be much more exciting to watch from second or third. Didn't get the last corner right, otherwise that might have been a fastest lap. Well, that was thoroughly acceptable. Thank you for running wide corner 1. Where's that guy finished? Oh my goodness, DNF. So annoyed with himself, he gave up on that one. I did suspect that Bestia Parda was a bit rough. So it did look like it turned into a bit of a bun fight back there, which thoroughly handed me the victory on a plate. Thank you very much. We'll have a quick look. Oh, sushi, some dirty driving accusations. Oh, they had a nice clean race. Well, that's good to see. I'll probably delete this immediately afterwards. As you can see, I've raced quite a bit this week. I haven't produced a video on that yet. Produced a video on a ridiculous internet scenario where the connection was dreadful. Produced the most bizarre footage in replay. It was weird enough. Up to 33.4. It was weird enough racing, let alone watching the video afterwards. You'd suddenly be racing completely alone, and then suddenly everyone would be on track around you, hitting walls and spinning, and then you'd be alone, and then it'd be normal. This was the mistake that threw it away for Roberto. Oh, it wasn't on lap 1. It was on... Oh no, it's here, wasn't it? Corner 2. He's gone in deep. That is easy to do. I got a half-second penalty here, didn't I? They should have dragged this back in. See, if you're in third place here, you need to not overtake. You need to just hold in behind Robertin. Oh, he's gone a bit... That's rubbish. And then that opens him up for Jolly Roger. That was better. That was fairly... That first move. Maybe Roberto shouldn't have... Nah, he's turned into him, surely. He's turned into him to finish him off, has he? Hasn't he? Most definitely, maybe. We've got time to watch a little bit more. The Jolly Roger comes down here, locks it up. That's a nice angle. Jolly Roger's got some internet issues there. Here comes Sushi. Ah, this has been interesting this week. Those who've chosen the Lancer. Is it the Lancer? Because it's better at different points of the track. Oh, half-second pen. See, I'm not getting away at all here because I am lapping slowly. And everyone else can't do anything else other than lap slowly. Because they're having an argument. That's a nice line in. Oh no. I'm being drawn into watching. I should go to the next race. Not least because I need a couple of laps practice. Oh, and it's always good. No, what am I doing? I've messed it up. I'm not going to get any practice. Because it will be past that moment where you can enter. Don't be under 2 minutes. It's under 2 minutes. 1:47 is my guess. Oh, he's in. Well, race 1. That went well. The only way is backwards from here. Hi there. Good to see you. I've done one race. But I'm not quite in the rhythm of things yet. Have you been doing this race this week? That's one of the corners I haven't been doing very well. No. Thanks for your... Oh no, it was another person said lol, wasn't it? Well, hopefully this was good viewing. We'll see. I'm going to have to pull my monitor slightly closer to me, otherwise I can't really... Oh, I see you only watched this week. There we go, I should be able to see what's coming up. I'm not getting... Yeah, if you've been playing for half an hour, I find I get into a reasonable rhythm. I'm not really there yet, but we'll see what happens. I think my quali time's alright. There's probably another 10 or 2 in there. But it would take hours to get that 10th or 2 out. See, I don't know if that will be a penalty or not. It's a penalty. That'll be a penalty. Not that it matters in the warm-up. This is a long wait. It certainly wasn't the best corner. That's not too bad on the grid, but if you let the guy in the lead get away, he is, yeah, he's gone. A 104 is considerably quicker than a 109 or 8 or 7. Are you generally a motorsports guy? Do you watch real motorsports, Formula One, all that sort of stuff, or do you just keep it to the virtual racing? Well, I I haven't got much online knowledge, to be honest. What's race room? I certainly like a bit of F1. It's shaping up to be an entertaining season. It'll be interesting to see what happens when the two title contenders get close to each other on track again, because they weren't anywhere near each other in the last race. I will probably go ominously quiet during this race for fear of sticking it in the gravel trap if I get chatty. Already missed a gear change based on looking right. Right, I'm only going to look at the race. Looks like a four-way squabble at the front, if we can get away. Oh no! Got myself a half-second penalty and running horribly wide. A whole second penalty? I'm right in the thick of it now. I ought to let this guy pass, really, because I'm off the pace, and it'll be quicker through this corner if I let him past. Ooh, that's a helpful nudge. Need a good run through here. That's an okay run. Well, if I can get back to fourth, that'll be all right. 'Cause Oh, thanks. I'll try not to murder anyone. I'm losing a bit of ground to doo-doo. Why do I keep running wide there? Why am I in first? I'm racing really poorly. I think I can come across in front, not quite. That is a deliberate nudge, in my opinion. The nose of his car went left into me. Well, we'll see what happens to the deliberate nudger. The shape of his car in my mirror. Oh no, I'm in trouble. Nope, I've saved it. I'm beginning to get in the rhythm now that I'm 7th. Karma might get him. 2 laps to go. It looks like Karma has nothing to say at present. Oh, I'm so off the pace. Ah, Karma strikes. I can't quite get through. I think I need to drive a little bit better. That could cause trouble ahead if he goes for a move because of the penalty. The two of them could tangle. Close enough to be involved in the tangling. It's going to be an interesting... Oh, I thought this was the last lap. Here we go. No, I've hit him. It's okay, it helped him out. Who's got a half second this time? It's the guy in front. There's another chance. Two half seconds. There's a half chance I might make a place. There's not going to be much in this. I'd prefer to be elsewhere. I don't want to be where he's... He was very polite on that corner. I was expecting a lot more muscularity. An okay recovery, but bearing in, where did I start? Third, second, can't remember. That's a fairly typical example of that race this week. Be interesting to see what happens to my DR, because it was 33.48. No, 33.400. How many back will I go? I predict 200 back. A 107. Who? Roberto had a better race this time. He threw in the towel in the last race. Thanks for the race. I ought to. I don't know whether that bloke tapped me on purpose. But I ought to. Thank do. Sushi not getting a lot of great press there. Sorry, I have a look at your comment. That cost me. Oh, I went up 100 points. Fourth it was. I want to have a little look at that move that was. Ah, yes, I've seen. I've seen the Swiss fella. Oh, he's gone. No, he's not. Did I? I am very sleepy this morning. I've already done that. So fourth to what was that? Sixth? Not too bad. Seventh, 2, 4, 6th. I've received a gift car. I'm at a point actually where I can almost do that, spend 20 million. I'm at about 19,000. I'll add this to my 6 other Dodge Vipers. We're not going to look at that. Oh, we might as well. Look at my suspected doo-doo. I ought to get into better shape, really. No, I'm going to quali. It's of mild interest to me as to whether he gave it a flick of the wheel into my rear. See, that's the nice thing I think about this wet thing. Someone can be kind of a little bit deliberately rude, but you don't. They can't be horribly rude because they slide off themselves. So all races from now on should be wet. So that drivers are a little bit more careful and respectful. Never going to happen. Who do you follow in F1? Are you a McLaren, a Red Bull, a Mercedes? So do you see Max as the offender at Silverstone? I like Lewis. He's a good driver and he's fair. I like Lando. I think Lando is probably as good as Lewis. Less experience, but he makes so few mistakes. And he's quick, and the fact that he has roughed up Ricciardo that's kind of what Verstappen did to Ricciardo, and as a result, Ricciardo left Red Bull. So, as for new potential on the grid, I reckon Norris is the business. Yeah. I don't think it was a great move by Hamilton. But we'll see. I see Hamilton more at fault. Whether there should have been a harsher penalty and all that, I'm not. Nah, it's not a shame because it wouldn't have been a race from that point on. It's worked out well for Hamilton. It's put him in a strong position for the championship. Opinion was very much divided, wasn't it? I think it's the worst overtaking move I've seen Hamilton attempt. Put it that way. And I know Max is rough. But we'll see what happens. It could be. What I'm excited about is what happens next. What will they do toe to toe? Yeah, it would be great to see what would happen to George if he got the Mercedes seat. One has to presume he would provide more competition for Hamilton. Occasionally in the press you hear people say it's never going to happen because Hamilton doesn't want it, but I haven't heard Hamilton say that. I'd be disappointed if that was the case. Surely Hamilton wanted it. Hamilton's not really ducked good battling partners in the past. He went toe to toe with Alonso, not that he had a choice about that. Who's Jenson Button? Jenson didn't quite match him, but on points he matched him. I think Jenson Button's an underrated driver. He's not the charging racer that Hamilton is, but he was super quick. Good to see George get points in Budapest. Let's see if I can get a hot result. Have you watched the internet difficulties video that I put up? That's quite amusing. I've never had such a poor... Well, that's why I didn't stream last week. Never had such a poor internet connection. Well, that's all close again, isn't it? Better do some have a good racing. The Swiss fella, I had a bit of a bump with him earlier in the week, and we had a nice polite chat afterwards. So I think that might have been why he was so gentlemanly at that final corner. I still don't know which of the indicators, so that indicator's going to be staying on. I'm going to try and be smoother with the throttle. I got a bit stampy on the throttle, which doesn't help. Yeah, good. I'm glad you. Hope it made you smile. If I can hold third, that would be a good result. I don't know where, to be honest, I don't really know where I'm braking into turn one on this rolling start. I tend to brake, lift off, and see what's happening after that. Because I'm trying not to hit people, so I've done the same again there. Normally, I'll get myself a nice braking point. Well, that's an alright first lap because it's given us a gap to fourth. So I'm not going to be trying any lunges here that will slow us down. I am in hot though. Oh no. How do I not get a penalty for that? Sometimes you get a penalty for running wide there, and other times you don't. The sponge is coming up behind me. I'm in a battle for fourth. Those corners were a bit tidier. A little bit of grass. Don't know how much that affects your corner one, that little bit of grass. Guy behind's a bit erratic, and so am I. We're all just neutralising each other. Got a good exit from that last corner for the first time in this race. I don't know why it's flashing all the time. I can't say it's an attribute I appreciate, but you've got to annoy it. You've got to ignore it, otherwise the irritation can affect your driving. This race appears to have settled bar mistakes. Solid lapping, 101.5s, 101.6s. That was a better corner. Come back, Andrea. Ooh, that's close. Close to a pen. Appear to have lost sponge. That's a reasonable first corner. A hint of error all from him and me. That was my first bit of heavy throttle. I think he's feeling a bit of pressure, this guy. He's not good into the second corner, but it's all over. That is a bad last corner. I was trying to get a perfect corner to get a super quick lap, and what I got was a super average lap. I don't know why it was flashing all the time. Sometimes I think I've seen myself flashing on replays and I haven't been flashing. I think sometimes the programming just flashes your lights for you. I think also sometimes people flash their lights for some reason. That was a solid race, if not particularly exciting. What this particular combination does give is a sense of tension when you're driving, because it's on wet tarmac. You're never quite, well, I'm never quite relaxed. You always feel that you could just slide off track at any moment. Thanks. And it may have led to a certain amount of I'm not sure there's much point in what happened in that race. Nothing. Andrea, a 101. That's tidy. Look at all those times. It's quite competitive. If you start in third and you don't make a mistake like I did, or someone doesn't bump into you, you see, what is it there? From 7th to 3rd, no, 7th to 2nd, they're all pretty much the same time. So a good quali time puts you 4 seconds down the road, probably. Just crossing the line helps you out. 34,200. That means I've gone up 10,000 DR this week. Unheard of. I am on holiday, hence I can race a bit more. I'll race one last time and then I must press on with my day. Be nice to get in a battle for the viewer's pleasure. Have you ever been to an F1 race? Oh, I ought to press X. They aren't very cheap, it's true. I've been to 2 that I can remember. My dad apparently took me to races in the 70s when I was younger. When I was a boy. Not younger. Well, I was younger. And I have one memory of that and nothing else, and that was we had, I guess, tickets that got you in but didn't get you a stand seat. My dad said, let's watch the start, because the start's quite exciting. But you had to have a ticket to get into the grandstand in the area where you could see the start. So he said, when I say so, we're going to run at that fence and climb it. So we did. And then we went and watched the start standing, which was all very exciting. And then everyone was told to go and sit down in the grandstands, and we obviously went and watched from somewhere else. And I have no other memories of that day at all. I know I've been 3 times, haven't I? I saw Spa 2009 with my dad, and I've seen 2 British Grand Prix, one which Webber won, and one which Schumacher won. The Webber one was really good. It was I can't remember what year it was. I think he won the British Grand Prix twice. But it rained about half an hour before the start. But it only rained on half the track. And that meant for an exciting race. Though, were you a Schumacher fan? My next comments will reveal my Schumacher opinions. He was a very good driver, there's no doubt about that. I don't think he was very popular in Great Britain on account of punting Damon Hill into the middle of next week to win a world championship. See, there's that half-second penalty. I can't. Yeah, he was good. I guess I wanted a bit more variety. A young man. Yeah, I don't think the British crowd were big fans of Schumacher. So the biggest cheer at the Grand Prix that Webber won came when Kobayashi went down the inside of Schumacher in the Luffield complex area and punted both of them into the gravel. And everyone in the crowd went, "Way!" Which was very unsporting, but it did demonstrate largely how not everyone was a big Schumacher fan at the time. That was when he was at Mercedes. He was very good. I didn't like his move on Hill or his move on Villeneuve. One of which worked from the other one which didn't. But I do, the first British Grand Prix that I went to that I remember sort of all of, the Ferraris were the top car, and Bridge was a flat-out right-hander in a Formula One car at the time. And watching that, I've just got goosebumps like everywhere, just talking about this. Going through Bridge flat out. You just couldn't. I've got to stop. You couldn't believe what you were seeing. Your eyes saw this car come in and go left, and everything in your senses was going, that car is going to slide off the track because you can't turn around corners at that speed. And it just didn't. It just was nailed to the floor and went round. And you went, how is that possible? And then it came through and did it again. And then the Minardi was the worst car of that time. And watching the Minardi go round Bridge, you could see it was skittering, it was on the edge. The guy, you kind of looked at the bloke and thought, it's phenomenal that you're keeping that car on the road. And then the Ferraris would come through and it was like they were sucked to the floor, just like... so that was an interesting memory. Schumacher won that race by quite some considerable distance. If you do get a chance to go to a Grand Prix, it is interesting. I don't think, unless you're very lucky, that you'll get a good idea of what's happening in the race, unless you get a radio. Oh, they got TV screens now. But it's phenomenal to see a Formula One car in real life. Oh, I think I've done that too late. Because they defy physics, or they appear to defy physics. Actually, a cheap way of seeing some Formula One cars. There are two cheap ways of seeing Formula One cars. Let's see what you said. You could go to a historic meeting where they have a historic Formula One race, and even though those Formula One cars are from the 70s and 80s, and there's lots from the 60s and 50s as well, but oh no, my battery's really low. I'm just going to have to plug in my laptop, otherwise you will turn off. So just excuse me a moment. We have saved the laptop from blinking out. Can't remember what for the life of me was saying. Ferrari microphone. Oh yeah, cheap ways of seeing F1. Or so that the cheapest event where that happens is only about 25 quid to get in, normally at Brands Hatch. And they get driven pretty jolly well. They're good to watch, the Formula One cars from the 70s and 80s at certain historic meetings. The Brands Hatch Super Prix, I think, sometimes has them, and there's a meeting called the Masters. And then the other thing is to check out when F1's testing in Britain. It's normally not really much more than 10 to 20 quid to get in and watch F1 testing. So that's pretty cheap to see any kind of F1 stuff. It's like most sports, they look quite different on the television. Television, generally you lose something in how good tennis players. I ought to try it. How do you speak? Oh, I wanted to do smiley face to the Swiss guy who was having a joke. Yeah, tennis in real life. Not that I've watched a lot of tennis. I went to Wimbledon when I was about 16 or something. But suddenly you go, wow, they're hitting that hard, and it's only just above. Every time it appears to be only just above the net. Yeah, good driving. Right, let's see if I can hold on to second. See if Gavascari can be as cool as he was last time. I tell you what, looking at the speech, the chat, does not help you go fast. So, like, you kind of feel like you should do. I'm going to try not to. That's okay without being great. He's got a bit wide. Everything's up for grabs. There's just a little wiggle on exit from me there. I've gone wide. I've exposed myself to the person behind. Protecting my line. He's got me. I'll let him go and see if he can catch up with the guy. Flashy Lights Man is back. First has gone. He was very wide. I'm not sure that wide line is good. Oh, I've got wobbly on the way out. I've made space for him because I do not want contact, and shoving him into the grass is foolish. Let's see if he offers me the same here. He mostly does. Well, I'm showing you a battle, but unfortunately I'm losing it. Gradually being shuffled backwards. It's that final corner. My times are underwhelming. 102, 102, 102, basically 102. I might as well look at the screen now. At least I did that well. Yeah, I am polite racer. I don't like smashing people up. Not that, yeah, I like to do it right. Then when you really do nail an overtake, it is sweet. Ooh, he's run wide. How did he not get a... Thank you. So, we could get a place back here. Spongy. I must just not run wide. Let's get out of the slipstream, which is... We just have to be close to him. He needed a good exit, because if he got a good exit, he holds on to this spot. If he doesn't... No, I've run wide. He's run wide as well. Oh, well, we're getting a nice little battle in. No! I thought he ran wide as well, but he didn't. I didn't realise that was the last corner. If it had been the last corner, I'd have made more effort not to go off. You're quite right. I'm far too polite. Yeah, a bit oops. Chance of a win, but not a bad result. The racing was solid, if unspectacular, this morning. You didn't see race one, though. If you go back and watch race one, it's a different story. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Good to chat to you. Have a good Sunday as well. I'm going outside for a barbecue. That should be cool. Let's just thank everyone for the race. Not really much to save. Cheers. Bye for now. See ya.